Hi everyone. This week we're talking about the Croos River, Cameroon, Grasslands, and Gabon. So here I have a map to orientate you. We're in this section of Africa here. And here we have the Croos River here. Okay, so Nigeria, Cameroon. Okay, so you get kind of a orientation here for what we're talking about. So we're going to look at some of these really early images, these monoliths, and we don't know much about them. We don't even know who actually created them. But in recent times, artists of the Croos River region have worked primarily in wood. The earliest known works, however, were formed from more durable materials such as terracotta. Unfortunately, few of these objects found in Calabar have been dated or even accurately described, for they are usually unearthed by accident rather than in controlled and documented archaeological excavations. They may have been made by ancestors of the current population, in which case they represent artistic traditions that have been discontinued, or other peoples who preceded them may have made them. Until more is known, they can only be appreciated as mute and mysterious evidence of an unknown past. So I'm showing you, as I said, some of the stone monoliths. So the stone monoliths shown here belong to a group of 18 stones standing at a site of a deserted village in the area occupied by the Nam group. And as I said, we really don't know so much about them. Some 300 such monoliths have been documented in this area, ranging from 1 to 6 feet in height. They are usually found in groups, often in circular arrangements. All were probably at one time associated with habitation sites, which have since been abandoned. Scholars believe that some of the monoliths may date back as far as the 16th century, and the manufacturing of them may have continued into the 19th century, but it is really hard to know for sure. The makers of these stone works selected roughly columned stones from riverbeds, then using a brace of most probably other stones to further shape and incise them. All of the stones depict bearded figures, usually as here, including a navel rhythmically emphasized with concentric circles. So here, here, here. Several regional substyles have also been identified. The phrase Lower Niger bronze industry have been employed by art historians to organize copper-alloyed objects, such as here. Stylistically diverse, they include figures of humans and animals, as well as such objects as bells and staffs. Where the centers of these industries were and what cultures they belonged to, we do not know. So you're getting a theme here that a lot of the stuff we just don't know. So what I'm showing you here is a leopard skull from the Lower Niger bronze industry, and it's cast in copper alloy. The cast leopard skull here, that I'm showing you here, can be compared to a number of cast copper alloy carnivore skulls in southern and eastern Nigeria. Other skulls of copper alloy in southern Nigeria have been dated to the mid to late 17th century. Although we cannot be sure of the usage of such finds, a local chief at Oron in Croos River State, where other feline skulls were excavated, seemed to believe that it was part of a predecessors' grave foods. It is conceivable that the distribution of such carnivorous skulls casting in the region of the Niger Delta to the Croos River suggests the movement of traveling workers and merchants. The leopard was a significant icon among many people in this region, and most noteworthy manifestations of leopard imagery were in the context of secret societies and leaders. So now I'm showing you the leopard dance, or the figure from the leopard dance, and it includes the appearance of the leopard spirit in the form of masquerade. And it appears in several forms, usually associated with specific grades. In its left hand, it holds leaves, and this conveys the idea of tradition and community. And in his right hand, he manipulates a whip, symbolizing authority. The feathers atop his head hang forward over his face, symbolizing leadership, and the bells suspended at the top of his left hip signal his approach. So he's got the whip here and leaves here, and you see the head dress here. Sorry, it's a little blurry, but somewhere in here there are also bells he is wearing. So now we'll look at the two-faced helmet mask. Numerous people along the river, and of course talking the Croos River, have adopted carved wooden forms of masks, as well as the fiber masked costumes of Negbi. Masquerades are performed by accomplished dancers at funerals, initiation of new members, and other events sponsored by associates. Two types of masks dominate: helmet masks that I'm showing you here, and this mask is covers the entire head of the wearer like an inverted bucket, reaching to the shoulders. When the mask was made, fresh animal skin was stretched and tacked over the soft wood from which it was carved. After the skin dries, it was stained with pigment made from leaves and bark. The opposite side of the double face mask represents male and females. The male face is normally stained darker all over, while the female side has portions left in the natural color of the animal's skin. Similar masks may have 3 or 4 faces. Feathers, quills, and other objects would have ornamented the mask in performance. On many masks, messages are also painted. So now we're looking at the other kind of mask. This is the crest mask, and we're still looking at the Croos River region in Nigeria, and this is made out of wood, as well as the other mask was made out of wood. The crest masks do not cover the head, but rather they sit on top of it. And then it's held on top of the head. It has like this kind of basket thing it sits into, and then it has a chin strap that is put on so that it doesn't fall off the head. The long neck and towering coiffure, or hair style, of the elegant crest mask shown here would have emphasized the height of the masked character who wore it. The skin sheathing imparts a startling realism. In some masks, there's actually real hair that's attached to the scalp, which might heighten this effect of being realistic. Inserted pieces of metal for eyes, wooden pegs for pupils, and the use of bone, ivory, metal, or small pieces of palm rib for teeth add further to the realistic impact. Circular, dark, stained relief forms on the temples represent scarification patterns. So these. Such masks were worn with elaborate flowing gowns. So these masks become very important in different forms of masquerade. And as we've seen now a couple of times, that when we see these really elaborate hairstyles, they also have a status symbol that is added to them, because when you have a hairstyle like this, you can't put a basket on your head and carry things. So the women that are able to have these elaborate hairstyles aren't the women that are carrying the goods to the market and stuff. It's a status symbol.